Hey, I'm out here once again working on a little piece, and I just wanted to share a little look at what I'm doing out here. Let me pan down and show you what's going on. All right, so I just took this piece of walnut here and turned it down with a little foot, a little separation point here with a little bit of a tenon left on it. I left myself a little ghost line right here, as you can see, from where my tenon was. So that shows me exactly where I need to cut to. Don't have to really sneak up on anything too much. Gives me a pretty good guideline. And then I have an ever so slight, like maybe a ½ degree taper on that, getting larger as it gets closer to seating. And that way it'll guide it, sort of like a miniature dovetail, guide it in nice and tight, hopefully, if I get a good cut. Anyway, just want to share that with you. I now have a spigot on this end with a little pull kind of already built in maybe, and I may modify that slightly, but this way I can grab this here, hollow out the inside of that, and before I do anything down here, obviously I will hollow this out, sand everything down, probably put a little bit of finish on this part, then I'll hollow the other one out here, hollow that out, and sand and finish it, and then pop them together. Oops, sorry about that. Then I'll pop them together, do a final sanding and finishing, and then this piece will be pretty much done. So I just wanted to share that little idea for a new sort of rounded box that I'm working on. All right. All right, so I have this section hollowed out. Now I have this piece mounted up here in the jaws of my chuck, and I'm getting ready to hollow this section out here. Okay, I'm using a round nose scraper on this. Get a little more light down in the middle of this, that's good. Without getting in your way. Double checking, okay, good. Alright, so sorry about the chattering, but this is some really dry, fairly hard walnut. And here we go. A finishing cut up inside of there. Let's see if I'm as deep as I want to be. I could do a little bit more here. I'm doing a little undercut to achieve a hollower form, since I have this outer edge here that I'm trying to maintain, this mortise, or sorry, this tenon that's here on the end. There we go. Now I've achieved a nice hollowed interior where I'm down to like an 1/8 inch wall thickness through here. I could take a little more out of the cap, which I think I'll do. There we go. line up our grain right there. That's where it is. That's where it lines up. Now I'll do my final fitting and sanding here while it's in this position. There we go. So now I'll do the final shaping and finishing and remove this square edge bottom. And then, actually I may leave the square edge bottom. You know what? I'm going to do this right now. I'm glad I caught myself. Now we open back up, flip it back around, put it back in, hopefully right where it was. There we go. Bring up our tailstock here for a second, just to make sure everything's in its same kind of place. Always tighten a couple times from all of your chuck tightening points, whether you have 2 or 3 or 4, tighten them all. And there we go. Now that's held in there like that. Now what I'm going to do is do some shaping here, then I'll tape this together and do some hollowing on the top of this pull, just so I have a tiny little recess in there. It makes it almost like another little vessel on top of this vessel. So let me move camera. It's going to get a better view from over here. Okay, a little bit of blending in right here. Tiny bit high. There we go. Always leave a little room for some blending at the end. Okay. Now I'll show you what I mean about a little taping right here. A little bit of high strength vinyl tape. So now this you got to be real careful with, because you can get a lot of flexing. These will be very, very shallow and slow, deliberate cuts here as I make these. Sorry about this. All right, I'll be editing this out anyway. All right, there we go. Hopefully this will hold on well enough. All right, so let me change camera angle. All right, hopefully this works. I'm just gonna have to nibble away here. And I'm doing push cut. Helps with putting pressure in on the piece. There we go. And when I'm looking at this, I may actually try to include a little of that. Like that. Let me just stop for a second. Here's where sometimes you'll think you're doing one thing and then you'll see something that gives you another potential. I just kind of like the way I had a little more meat here to do a beveled edge, and now I can come in and do some hollowing. This is one of those moments where I'm saying that the wood is trying to speak to me, and if you're listening, sometimes you can hear some new design elements that might be a little more interesting. Let's see if this is going to work. This may pop off of here. That's what I was worried about. Hopefully it didn't split. I did hear a little crack sound, but this is why you want to have your, excuse me, this is why you want to have your safety gear on. I probably should have had another layer of tape on this. Okay, good. It looks like everything's solid still, but it's making me rethink this. I think now what I'm going to do is come in with a drill and do a little drilling on the end of this. That way I won't be putting as much stress on it. All right, finding my grain again. Right there. Okay, now I'm going to tape it back up again. All right, let's try this again without the drill and see if it's any better. I've put a lot more tape on there this time. Nope. It's going to do it again. It's because I'm cutting into end grain here, and as it gets across some of the end grain tries to catch, it's not so pretty. So let me get set up to drill a hole here, and I'll check back in with you. All right, I've got it hollowed out here now to what I want. It's a nice little vessel on the top. Now I'm just going to do some sanding. Starting out here at 220 grit. Okay, then I'll put some finish on this and part it off the lathe. It'll be ready to rock and roll. Show you some still pictures when I'm done.